Okay, so we're on Dodds Camp Road. Came off of Kaufman Bend Drive, and we've gone just a few hundred yards on Dodds Camp. That blue gate there, that's the start of the easement road, which takes you into the south side of the property. And what we're going to do on this video is we're going to take Dodds Camp Road down to the east side of the property and check that out. The property does have some actual frontage on Dodds Camp Road, but we need to take a look at that because Pearson Creek is right there. And so I assume you would have to drive across the creek if you're going to access the property from that side. And we're going to check that out today. Gorgeous area. We've seen a couple deer already. Kind of anxious to see this east part. This is the first time we've been out here with the MapRight app, and it is so cool for looking at properties. Road is curving to the left, and we're going to start to head downhill, and at the bottom of the hill we'll have the Lake of the Ozarks. We haven't seen any turkey today, but we did hear some turkey earlier. Awesome area for wildlife. Okay. So we've got a little ways to go because the road is going to curve to the right after about a quarter mile or so. I really don't know exactly what to expect since we've never been out here with the MapRight app, so we've never had a good way to tell where the frontage was on Dodds Camp Road. The printed maps are really useful, but the MapRight app is extremely useful, and so we do have that today. It's somewhat new for us. We've had it about a year. Okay, I can actually see the Lake of the Ozarks straight ahead. I'm trying to pick up the pace because I know this is a very boring section of the video until we get to the property itself, at least. So there's the lake, and the road's going to curve to the right. That leads right out to the main channel, which is cool. This is some kind of community launch. I really haven't researched it. We haven't checked into it, but we had at least one person out here tell us that for like $100 a year or $150 a year, you can become a member of that community deal and then have access to that boat launch and the dock and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so now Dodds Camp has curved and it's heading south. We're heading south anyway. And again, I'll try to pick up the pace a little bit. MapRight app pulled up on the iPad to kind of tell us hopefully what's going on here. Okay, so this is actually Pearson Creek. We're crossing over it as it goes under the road and then into the Lake of the Ozarks. So we're going to have a cluster of houses, and then we'll have the property on the right after that. Turn this down a little bit. well, we'll have a section of the property. You'll want to look at the map, or maybe I'll stop and show the MapRight app in a moment here. Okay, so where are we here? So whoops. This is the property here. The map's not quite loading properly, but so it says there's a little portion right here that does touch Dodds Camp Road, and I'm not sure because there's an old house there. It could be this little section here. I'm not positive about that. But I do know that once we get a little further, I should have loaded this section of the map because I've actually lost the GPS portion is working, but I don't have cell service on this tablet, and it's not loading the base map portion. That's the problem. But now you can see that this is where the property has frontage on Dodds Camp. So as we look to the right, that is the property on the right. I'm going to pull over and walk back and take a look at that, and maybe we'll get lucky and a helpful neighbor will come out and see that I'm confused and know a little more about the boundaries. Okay. So yeah, this shows that this, basically everything you see on the right is going to be part of the property. So behind these trees we'll have Pearson Creek. This is sort of a pretty good little open area here, actually. And then right there you can see Pearson Creek. So there we go. And across, over and across, is going to be where that little trail was that you might have seen in the other video coming off of the meadow on the property. So there is a potential for access off of Dodds Camp. The only sticking point that I see is going to be driving across the creek bed because you'll definitely need a truck or an SUV for that. Although if we walk the whole section, there might be another area with just pure flat gravel, which might give you better access across that creek bed. But if nothing else, it's a possibility. So having the direct road frontage is a plus, at least in our minds. Let's drive a little further and see what we can see here. So actually quite a bit of road frontage. And it'll go up basically almost to, I guess, the yard of this house. There's a little shed there. It probably stops, I don't know, somewhere in here. See, the problem is my base map didn't load because of my cell service is poor on that tablet. So now this obviously is not part of the property, but at some point there's a system of roads, and it could be this one right here, which are the old platted roads that'll go back to Pearson Creek, directly across from the property. So you can check that out on the county GIS map to kind of see what we mean about that. But interesting possibility for access. So this does have legal guaranteed access. Physical frontage on Dodds Camp Road, where we just were and we just saw, as well as the surveyed and recorded easement along the easement road, which you'll see in the other video if you want to watch that. That takes you into the south side of the property.